Goodfellow from FTP.com, and today we are here with David Brevik of Gazillion. David, most people should know who you are, but for those that don't, please can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm David Brevik. I've been in the video game business for 5-ish years or something like that, and in a different life I was created Diablo, and I was president of Blizzard North for 10 years, and now I'm the CEO of Gazillion, and we make Marvel Heroes.
Marvel Heroes 2015?
Correct, Marvel Heroes 2015.
So why the rebrand? Why the new name?
We felt that the game really deserved it. The game's changed a lot since it was launched, and we felt like, just like Microsoft is making a new version of Microsoft Word, it's the same product, but it's enhanced, it has a lot of features that have been changed and things like that. Or maybe Madden, has a new version every year that so here was an opportunity for us to kind of say, we changed the game a lot. It's a very different game than it was a year ago. Come take a look at all the things that we've done, and this rebranding effort really kind of paved the way for that and gave people, allowed people to notice that the game has really changed in the last year and it deserves to have a new title.
So as far as the changing goal, was that more from community feedback, or I don't know, were the population of users not quite what they wanted to, or what was?
Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, the game came out and was not very good when it came out, and so we wanted to fix it and change it and make it better and better. We focused on getting feedback from the community and improving the product and patching every week and making it better and better, enhancing the number of features and et cetera, et cetera. So that was kind of an effort from not only the community and what they wanted, but it was what we wanted as well. Now all accumulated, after a year, here's our 1-year anniversary. This is an opportunity to say, it's been out a year, it's time for something new. And in a lot of ways, the media does not treat products that are these games as a service, something that lasts a long time, as like they review it once and then that's it. But it's very different. These games as a service are constantly updated, constantly changing, and so here was a way for us to get some attention that the product's in much better shape now. Come take a look, and that's really a lot of what we did to make this product. And it's really been a very successful campaign for us, and we've seen a lot. We've had the most players ever play this last weekend, so more and more it is working. And I think it's a testament not only to this rebranding effort and getting some attention, but also the quality of the product's much better.
So obviously you've got a lot of experience within the industry.
Yeah.
Kind of like the bottom level, worked your way up to where you're at now. So you have a lot of experience to bring to the table. You're obviously looking at player feedback from what you decide as well. How do you balance that with being innovative as well? Because I see you as being the type of guy that is an innovator. You want to try new things. So how do you find that balance?
Carefully. We pick and choose a little of everything every time that we're going to do any kind of major development. Sometimes we'll say, okay, well, in the next 6 months we want to come out with raids. Raids is something that's never been in an action RPG, and so here is a way that we can innovate and do something original and new and very, very different, but we have to plan that 6, 8, 9 months in advance. Even though we know that that's something we want to do, we work on it and work on it and work on it over a period of months, and then finally it kind of comes out. But we layer that in with other things that are going on at the game. It's like every week we're going to work on, hey, these are the top 10 bugs that we're going to try and fix, and we have this particular feature that's coming out this week, and how close are we to this other feature, and like coordinating that schedule and doing all that is a gigantic job. But balancing where we're getting everything, we're constantly working on improving as well as innovating and kind of balancing it all between it, as well as throwing in a new hero all the time as well. That's kind of like the beats that we try and hit all the time.
As far as kind of responsibility goes, I guess a lot of the time floats upwards. If the game succeeds or fails, a lot of people are going to be looking at you, so that puts you in quite a precarious position, really. You've also got to think about marketability, actually making money and pleasing the fans as well.
Yeah.
So do you find that the position you're in now in comparison to where you used to be when you were kind of like developing all that, do you find that you are the guy that's wanting to be innovative and people are having to reel you back in, or are you now on the other side, it's like, guys, I really want to do that, but we can't do that?
No, I think that it's a good question. I think that my philosophy as an executive of the company is that the game is going to make or break you. So making sure that the game is great is the #1 responsibility to not only the company but to everybody, all the employees and everybody. The better you make that game, the better that the community and everybody is going to notice. And so focusing on that is really what we focus on. Anything, in my experience, if you make a great product, the money is like a side effect of that, right? You know, that's not the point of what I'm trying to, sure, it's a business, we're trying to make money, but that money will come if we make that product great, and that's really been our focus all along. And it's working. The philosophy is working. We're having more and more users, and the product is doing better and better every single month. We've been on all of our charts and graphs are up and to the right, so it's all good. It's been very, very, very positive.
As far as the kind of genre that the game falls into, and obviously from your background, it's hard not to lump it in with Diablo, and then you've got the likes of Exile. Do you like to kind of consider yourselves standing at the side of those guys that obviously they're doing massively successful, and not to say that obviously you are more the new kid on the block as far as this game is?
Yeah.
Do you like to stand shoulder to shoulder and say, we're with them, or are you trying to step away and go, no, we're doing it differently, this is what we're doing?
Well, I think that in the space there's room for lots of people. There can be plenty of success for everybody. We do compete with them on some level, but that's not really what we're focused on. We're trying to just focus on our product and make it the best it can be. We're also very open and cooperative with even like Grinding Your Games, the Path of Exile people. We've thrown parties with them and things like that, events, press events, and we share data back and forth and ideas and whatnot. I'm actually going out to New Zealand to give the Game Developer Conference keynote, and it was invited by the Grinding Your Games people and stuff like that. So we work closely with the people that I was just on a panel with the Borderlands guys, and so they're like working together with other people that make these action RPGs and games that have randomness and whatnot is something that I like trying to encourage. I think that we can all benefit from making it a more popular genre and working together to do that. It's not necessarily us against them, and working together to learn best practices and things like that. Spirit of cooperation and working together is really what we try and foster.
Not always all parties consider that the same thing.
Sure, absolutely. How much we share and stuff. It's obviously there's some sensitive stuff there sometimes, but overall it is not. We don't see them as a direct competition. We're doing something that's flavored so differently and is different in many different ways that I think that our product, having a new hero every month is not something that any other action RPG is doing with 40 different classes basically. That alone makes us very different. Then we're also an MMO, which also makes us very different. So the fact that our product has this kind of unique twist on it makes it a different offering that doesn't directly compare with everybody else.
I mean, you've got a really strong IP with Marvel, obviously.
Yes.
And I know in some ways they're kind of doing half your job for you because they're turning out a lot of content for you.
Yeah, they are.
How do you pick and choose which bits you go for? So they're throwing out film after film, but you presumably have to kind of sit down and go, right, which one are we going to focus on? Which character's coming in next?
Right.
How do you kind of go through that process, and how connected to Marvel are like the guys over at Marvel for them telling you this is what's coming up?
So they're very, very good and very helpful when it comes to what's coming up. And in fact, this year we're going to try some actual comic book tie-ins. There's a big event that's going to be coming up that we're going to be tied into, and some of the stuff in the game will be tied directly with this comics crossover. So they let us know what's coming up in the comics for about a year ahead of time and things like that, as well as movies that are in the future, and then introduce us and get us working with the movie team. If here's the new suits and some of the new the story is about this, like some of the scripts we've been able to read like a year ahead of time, that somebody one person on the team gets to go and read it, and then they have all the information and help guide us as to what we're going to be able to make and how to work with the movie. They're not able to spoil almost anything, but Marvel is very good about giving us one example. Another example is that when we made the Iron Man costumes, Iron Man 3, they had all these different costumes, and the studio that did the actual 3D models for the visual effects, they sent us the models, and so we could just take them and make them and put them in our game, and so Marvel has been very helpful in giving us advance warning about what's coming down the pipe, as well as supporting us with materials and introductions and things like that.
I presume you have quite a bit of creative freedom with the game, or is this something like, like frosted stuff that you just kind
No, well, I mean, there is a little bit of we can't do everything that we want to all the time, because there'll be specific reasons, like, oh, we're doing this thing in this other game, or this other, it would make more sense to do this. We can't talk about it right now, but it would make more sense for you to do this in a year, or those kind of things. So sometimes there are things like that happen, but I'd say 95% of the stuff that we want to do, we can go ahead and do.
So for my last question, obviously, game is a free-to-play game.
Yes.
We are primarily focusing on free-to-play games. How would you say, from when you started developing the game, how would you say the free-to-play industry might have changed slightly as far as other titles and kind of like a big F2P boom, and how you think the players in general are taking to it?
I think that players are accepting free-to-play more now than they ever have, and it's mainly because there are some good games out there that are free-to-play, and as they become free-to-play and it becomes a more prevalent business model and it's supported by quality titles, then I think players get more and more kind of used to it and accepting of it and understand it better. It had kind of some negative stigmatisms associated with it, pay-to-wins and things like that were really, I'll never touch that, but I think that as products become more fair in the way that they allow what is earnable versus buyable and whatnot, that there's a better balance there, then and the quality of the titles comes up, then I think it'll be more accepted by players. It's already accepted pretty much everywhere in the world except for maybe Europe and US, so I think that there are very few barriers that need to break down anymore, and especially I think free-to-play coming to console, for instance, is going to make a big difference in kind of the hardcore gaming audience and what their appreciation of free-to-play games.
David, thank you very much for speaking.
Thank you.